Hello and welcome to Medieval Nocturnes. Tonight, we begin our journey into the life of Miyamoto Musashi. He was a legendary swordsman, an artist, and a philosopher whose spirit defined the way of the samurai. From his incredible duels to the wisdom in his Book of Five Rings, his legacy inspires us centuries later. If you enjoy our content, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps us create more stories for you. Now, let's settle in and begin our tale. Your story starts in the year 1584. Japan is in the middle of its Sengoku period. This was an era of constant civil war. It was a time of great upheaval and uncertainty. Peace was a distant memory, a story told by old men. You were born into this chaos, a world of steel and smoke. Your birthplace was the village of Miyamoto in Harima Province. Life here was simple and hard. Your family name is Shinman, but you will become known by your village. Your father is Shinman Munisai, a respected swordsman. His reputation is built on skill and victory in deadly duels. He is not a warm man. His love is not shown in hugs or kind words. It is shown through harsh discipline and relentless training. He sees the world as a battlefield, and his son must be a weapon. You are born with a wild, untamable spirit. You are not a quiet child who follows rules. You are restless, stubborn, and drawn to conflict. Your playground is the forest floor and the riverbank. Nature is your first dojo, teaching you lessons of patience and sudden action. You learn survival before you learn poetry. From the moment you can stand, your father places a wooden sword in your hands. Your training is brutal and unforgiving. There are no easy lessons or gentle corrections. He believes softness is a weakness that will get you killed. He is raising a warrior, not a son. Affection is a luxury the world cannot afford. The other villagers watch you with a mix of fear and curiosity. They see the intensity in your young eyes. They whisper about the boy who never cries from a blow. Your only true companions are your swords and the silence between training sessions. You are different, and you know it. This harsh upbringing shapes your view of the world. You learn that life is a duel. Victory is the only thing that matters. You only care about what is real, what is effective. This pragmatic and ruthless mindset will become the foundation of your legend. You are not being taught to be a samurai. You are being taught to be a survivor. Your young mind absorbs everything like a dry sponge. You are not just learning how to fight. You are learning how to see. Your father's lessons are harsh, but they are profound. He is teaching you the way of strategy. He is giving you the tools, not just to win, but to dominate. A storm is gathering inside you, waiting to be unleashed. Your life changes at the age of 13. Most boys your age are learning a trade or helping in the fields. He is arrogant and looking to build his reputation. He places a public notice challenging anyone to a fight. He does not expect a serious opponent here. He certainly does not expect a boy to answer his call. You see the notice and feel no fear. You feel a pull, a sense of destiny. You tear down his challenge and write your own. You sign it with your name. The villagers are shocked. They see it as a death sentence for a foolish child. Arima Kihei is a trained warrior. You are just a boy with a wooden sword and a wild reputation. No one believes you can survive this encounter. News of the duel spreads like a winter chill. The entire village gathers to watch the spectacle. They do not come to see a fair fight. They come to see a boy get put in his place. Your father, Munisai, is not present. Perhaps he could not bear to watch. Or perhaps he understood this was a test you had to face alone. You stand there, calm, amid the whispers. When Arima Kihei arrives, he laughs at the sight of you. You are small for your age, thin and scrappy. He sees an easy victory, a quick way to entertain a crowd. He underestimates you completely. This is his first and most critical mistake. He sees a boy. He does not see the years of brutal training behind your calm eyes. He does not see the killer you were made to be. The duel begins without ceremony. Kihei expects the traditional bows and posturing. You give him none of it. You are not fighting with style or form. You are fighting with pure instinct, a storm of controlled violence. You rush him before he can even settle into his stance. Your movements are a blur of aggression. He is immediately thrown onto the defensive. You tackle him to the ground. He is a grown man, but your ferocity catches him off guard. You pin him down and beat him with your staff. The villagers watch in stunned silence. This is not a duel, it is a slaughter. Before Arima Kihei can recover or mount a defense, it is over. You strike a final decisive blow. He lies still on the ground, defeated and broken by a child. You stand over his body, breathing steadily. The crowd is silent. The laughter has died in their throats. They are looking at something else, something dangerous. In that moment, you feel no remorse. You feel only a cold and profound clarity. You were born for this path. This is the first victory of many. The taste of it is the first real taste of your own life. Your reputation is born in that moment of violence. The wild boy from Miyamoto is now a giant killer. People will no longer whisper about your strange habits. They will whisper about your deadly hands. You have shed your childhood like a snake sheds its skin. The path of the sword is now formally open to you. It is a path you will walk alone, stained with the blood of your first victory. After your victory over Arima Kihei, the village looks at you differently. The whispers change from mockery to a kind of nervous respect. You are no longer just the wild son of Nisai. You are a duelist, a victor, a person capable of shocking violence. But this newfound reputation does not bring you comfort. It feels like a cage. The expectations of your family and village are walls closing in. You know your destiny is not here in this small collection of huts. At the age of 16, you make a choice that will define your life. You decide to leave home. There is no grand farewell. There are no tearful goodbyes at the village gate. You simply pack a few belongings, a spare robe, your swords, and you walk away. You leave behind the life that was known to you. You step onto the path of the Musha Shujyo, the warrior's pilgrimage. This is a journey without a destination, a search for enlightenment through the sword. You become a Ronin, a masterless samurai. In the strict social hierarchy of Japan, this is a disgrace. A samurai's worth is tied to his lord. To be masterless is to be a wave without an ocean, an outcast. But for you, this is not a disgrace. It is the ultimate freedom. You answer to no one. You are bound by no rules but your own. Your loyalty is to the sword and to the perfection of your craft. You embrace the solitude of the wanderer. Life on the road is brutally hard. You have no steady source of income. You sleep in forests, in abandoned shrines, or under the eaves of farmhouses. Hunger is a constant companion. Some days you eat well, thanks to your skill in hunting or fishing. Other days you eat nothing at all. You face suspicion and hostility in the towns you pass through. A Ronin is an untrusted figure, a potential bandit or troublemaker. You are always an outsider. But this hardship is a forge. It strips away everything that is unnecessary. The cold nights teach you endurance. The empty belly teaches you patience. The lonely roads teach you self-reliance. You learn to read the weather in the clouds and the changing of the seasons in the trees. The wilderness becomes your teacher. It sharpens your senses far more than any dojo ever could. You become lean, hard, and keenly aware of the world around you. During your travels, you seek out other martial artists. You are not looking for fame or prize money. You are looking for knowledge. You challenge swordsmen, spearmen, and masters of every weapon you can find. Each duel is a lesson. You observe their techniques, their strategies, their strengths, and their weaknesses. You absorb what is useful and discard what is not. You are not just collecting victories. You are building a new way of fighting. Your style begins to change. It becomes less about the rigid forms taught by your father and more about pure, fluid efficiency. You learn that a real fight is messy and unpredictable. It is not a choreographed dance. You adapt your movements to the situation, to the opponent, to the terrain. You are becoming a student of reality, not tradition. This pragmatic approach to combat sets you apart from the samurai, who are bound by the rules of their schools. The road is your home now. The horizon is your only destination. Every sunrise brings the possibility of a new challenge, a new lesson. You are walking a path of constant self-improvement. The boy from Miyamoto is slowly disappearing. In his place, a new figure is being forged in the crucible of the road. You are becoming Musashi, the wanderer, the seeker, the storm that is slowly gathering force across the provinces of Japan. The year is 1600. You are around 16 years old. Japan is a powder keg, ready to explode. The country has split into two massive factions. The Eastern Army is led by Tokugawa Ieyasu. The Western Army is loyal to the Toyotomi clan. A final decisive battle is inevitable. As a young, unattached warrior, you find yourself drawn into the conflict. You join the Western Army under the Yukita clan. You are not fighting for a noble cause. You are fighting for experience and survival. The armies meet at a place called Sekigahara. The morning of the battle is shrouded in thick fog and rain. The ground is a field of mud. You stand in the ranks, surrounded by thousands of other soldiers. The scale of it is unlike anything you have ever seen. This is not a duel between two men. It is a collision of human oceans. The air is thick with tension, the smell of damp earth and steel. The silence before the storm is a heavy thing. The battle begins with a roar. The fog erupts with the sound of matchlock, guns, and cannon. The ground trembles under the charge of cavalry. Shouts and screams fill the air. It is pure chaos. Your one-on-one dueling skills mean little here. This is a meat grinder. You fight not with elegant technique, but with desperate ferocity. You push forward through the mud and blood. Survival is measured in seconds, not strategy. You are just one small part of a massive organism of war. Around you, men fall with arrows in their chests or swords in their guts. The fighting is a confusing swirl of banners and bodies. There is no time to think, no time to plan. You react on pure instinct. You parry a spear thrust. You cut down an enemy soldier. You move forward. This is the brutal reality of war, stripped of all its romance and honor. It is a lesson in humility. Midway through the day, the tide of the battle turns. A key general in the Western army betrays his allies. He switches his allegiance to the Tokugawa side. His forces attack his former comrades from the flank. The Western army's lines crumble. Panic spreads like a disease. What was once an organized force becomes a terrified mob. The battle is lost not by a lack of strength but by a failure of loyalty. It is a bitter lesson. The Western army is completely routed. Now the fight is not for victory but for escape. You are on the losing side, a survivor of a massacre. You must flee the battlefield and disappear into the countryside. Tokugawa's forces hunt down the remnants of the defeated army. To be captured means certain death. You become a fugitive. You shed your armor and melt into the landscape using the survival skills you learned on the road. You survive Sekigahara, but you are changed by the experience. You have seen the face of large-scale warfare. You understand that individual skill is not enough to control the flow of history. You have seen how strategy, betrayal, and leadership can decide the fate of thousands. You have witnessed the death of an era. The Toyotomi clan is broken. A new shogun will rule Japan. Your wandering continues, but now with a deeper understanding of the world. You have survived one of the bloodiest days in your country's history. You carry the ghosts of that battle with you. They serve as a constant reminder of the thin line between life and death. You have learned that the greatest battles are not always fought with a sword. They are often fought in the minds of men. This knowledge becomes another layer of your growing legend. In the years following Sekigahara, you live as a fugitive. The new Tokugawa shogunate hunts down survivors of the Western army. You retreat to the mountains and the deep wilderness. This period of intense isolation further separates you from the conventions of society. You live off the land like an animal. You have no home, no master, and no status. You have only your swords and your will to survive. This experience burns away any remaining attachment to worldly things. When you finally re-emerge into the world, you are a different man. Your physical appearance has become as wild as your spirit. You do not care for clean robes or neatly styled hair. Such things are luxuries for men who live in castles. Your clothes are often ragged and worn from travel. Your hair is long and untied. You do not look like a samurai. You look more like a mountain hermit or a bandit. This appearance is not an accident. It becomes a part of your strategy. The typical samurai of your time is obsessed with appearance. Their armor is polished. Their swords are ornately decorated. Their movements are precise and ceremonial. They are symbols of a rigid and ordered society. You are the opposite of this. You are a force of nature. You represent the chaos and unpredictability of a real fight. You are a walking rejection of the very traditions they hold dear. Your presence is an unsettling thing. You quickly learn that your unkempt look is a powerful weapon. When you arrive in a town to challenge a local master, they see you and laugh. They underestimate you based on your rough exterior. They see a vagrant, not one of the most dangerous swordsmen in Japan. Their pride and arrogance make them blind. This gives you an immediate psychological advantage. They have already lost the duel in their minds before a single sword is drawn. For those who are not foolish enough to laugh, they feel a different emotion. They feel fear. Your wild appearance and intense gaze are deeply unnerving. You do not carry yourself like a normal man. There is a stillness about you, a predator's calm. It unnerves your opponents and disrupts their mental state. They become hesitant and uncertain. Their carefully practiced techniques crumble in the face of your raw presence. You fight their spirit before you fight their body. Imagine a duel from your opponent's perspective. He is a respected master in a fine silk kimono. He stands ready in his polished dojo. You walk in looking like you just wrestled a bear and slept in a ditch. You do not bow in the expected way. You simply watch him with cold, calculating eyes. All his training, all his discipline, all his expectations are thrown into chaos. He is already off balance. His defeat is almost certain. This becomes your hallmark. You turn every aspect of a duel to your advantage. You control the time, the location, and the psychological state of your opponent. You understand something that few others do. A duel is not just a contest of skill. It is a contest of wills. By stripping away all pretense and ceremony, you expose the raw truth of combat. It is about life and death, not about looking impressive. Your legend grows with every victory. The stories told about you always mention your strange and ferocious appearance. You are the demon swordsman, the wild Ronin, who fights like a force of nature. You do not cultivate this reputation for fame. You cultivate it because it is effective. It is another sword in your arsenal. You are mastering the art of war on every level, from the clash of steel to the battleground of the human mind. Your journey eventually leads you to Kyoto. This is the imperial capital of Japan. It is a city of ancient temples, refined art, and powerful families. The air here is different. It is thick with tradition, ceremony, and political intrigue. In this city, a person's name and lineage are everything. You arrive as a nameless Ronin, a ghost from the wild provinces. Your ragged appearance is a stark contrast to the silken robes of the city's elite. You do not belong here, and everyone knows it. In Kyoto resides the most famous school of swordsmanship in the land, the Yoshioka clan. For generations, they have been the official fencing instructors to the Ashikaga shoguns. Their name is synonymous with prestige and martial excellence. To be a student of the Yoshioka school is a mark of high honor. Their style is the orthodox and accepted standard of the elite samurai class. They are the guardians of tradition. They are a mountain of reputation. You are not impressed by their fame. You see their reputation as a wall to be tested. To become the best, you must defeat the best. So you make the most audacious move of your life. You issue a public challenge to the head of the Yoshioka school. His name is Yoshioka Sayuro. This act is a profound insult to the established order. A masterless vagrant does not simply challenge the head of the greatest fencing academy in the nation. It is unthinkable. The city of Kyoto buzzes with the news. Who is this wild man, Musashi? How dare he disrespect the Yoshioka name in such a way? The nobles and samurai of the capital are outraged. They see you as a barbarian, an uncivilized brute who needs to be taught a lesson in humility. They believe the duel will be your public execution, a swift and brutal end to your arrogant journey. They look forward to seeing you put in your place. The Yoshioka clan is both insulted and angered. They cannot ignore the challenge without losing face. To them, you are a nuisance, a piece of dirt to be swept away. Sayuro accepts the duel. He intends to make an example of you. He will defend his family's honor and show all of Japan what happens to those who challenge their authority. The duel is set. The stage is prepared for your downfall. They have no doubt about the outcome. You remain unfazed by the commotion. The politics of the city do not concern you. The opinions of the elite mean nothing to you. You spend the days before the duel in quiet contemplation. You are not preparing to fight a legend. You are preparing to fight a man. You study his school's style. You know it is rigid and based on ancient forms. You know its strengths, and more importantly, you know its weaknesses. You already have a strategy. The duel is arranged to take place outside the city, at the Rendaiji Temple field. Everyone expects a formal affair, with witnesses and ceremony. They expect you to be intimidated by the occasion. They expect you to be overwhelmed by the pressure. They still do not understand who you are. They see your challenge as an act of arrogance. They do not realize it is an act of supreme confidence. You are a force of nature, about to collide with a pillar of tradition. The city holds its breath, waiting for the confrontation. The old versus the new. The refined style versus the raw instinct. The house of Yoshioka versus a single masterless samurai. Everyone believes they know how this story will end. You are the only one who knows they are wrong. You are not here to lose. You are here to tear down the mountain. The day of the duel arrives. Yoshioka Sayuro and his students gather at the Rendaiji Temple field. They are dressed in formal attire. They carry the weight of their family's centuries-old honor. The air is crisp and still. They wait for you under the morning sun. They expect you to arrive on time. It is a matter of respect and samurai etiquette. They are confident. They are ready to dispense their lesson. The appointed hour comes and passes. You do not appear. Minutes turn into an hour. The sun climbs higher in the sky. Seijiro's confidence begins to curdle into irritation. His students whisper among themselves. They see your lateness as a sign of cowardice. Seiyuro sees it for what it is. It is a profound insult. You are disrespecting him and his entire clan. His calm begins to fray. He is losing his composure. You arrive late deliberately. This is a key part of your strategy. You know that a warrior's mind is his most important asset. A mind clouded by anger is a blunt weapon. When you finally walk onto the field, you are calm and unhurried. You do not apologize for your tardiness. You do not even acknowledge it. You carry a simple wooden sword. You show no sign of fear or reverence for your opponent. Your casual demeanor is another calculated blow to his pride. Seiyuro is now consumed by rage. He has lost the mental battle before the physical one has even begun. He sees you as nothing but an arrogant peasant. He forgets his training, his strategy, his discipline. All he wants is to punish you for your insolence. He draws his real sword, a masterpiece of steel. He is ready to kill you. You simply stand there holding your wooden staff. You watch him with an unnerving stillness. The duel begins with Seijiro's furious charge. He attacks with the speed and precision of the famous Yoshioka style. His blade cuts through the air with a deadly whistle. His movements are technically perfect. They are the product of a lifetime of training in the most prestigious dojo in Japan. He expects to cut you down in a single blow. He has completely underestimated your strategy. His anger has made him predictable. You meet his attack not with a defensive block, but with a single explosive movement. You do not use a sword. You use your bakken, the wooden practice weapon. In one fluid motion, you bring your weapon down on him. There is a sickening crack of wood against bone and flesh. Your blow lands on his shoulder or arm. The strike is brutally powerful and perfectly timed. It shatters his limb and his will to fight. Yoshioka Sayuro collapses to the ground in agony. He is defeated. The duel lasted only a few seconds. The master of Japan's greatest sword school has been crippled by a nameless Ronin with a wooden stick. His students are frozen in disbelief. The entire world seems to stop for a moment. They cannot comprehend what they have just witnessed. Their master, their invincible leader, lies broken in the dirt. You do not gloat. You do not offer a final insult. Your work here is done. You look once at your defeated opponent. Then you turn your back and walk away from the field. You leave behind a shattered man and a shattered reputation. The first pillar of the Yoshioka school has fallen. You know this is not the end of the conflict. It is only the beginning. The clan will not let this humiliation go unanswered. The news of Seijiro's defeat sends shockwaves through Kyoto. The invincible Yoshioka school has been humbled. Their leader was not just beaten but utterly broken by a Ronin with a wooden stick. The shame is immense. Sayuro is so disgraced that he shaves his head and becomes a monk. He abandons the way of the sword forever. The leadership of the battered clan now falls to his younger brother. His name is Yoshioka. Denshichiro is a different kind of warrior than his brother. He is renowned for his immense physical strength. His weapon of choice is often a 5-foot-long wooden staff reinforced with steel rings. He is less of a refined technician and more of a blunt instrument of force. He burns with a desire for revenge. He cannot let your insult to his family go unanswered. His goal is not just to defeat you. His goal is to kill you and restore his family's honor. He immediately issues a formal challenge for a second duel. The entire city watches to see what you will do. Many expect you to flee Kyoto. You have made your point. To stay is to invite certain death. The Yoshioka clan is now fighting a desperate battle for its very survival. They will not be taken by surprise a second time. They will come for your life with everything they have. This is no longer a simple contest of skill. It is a blood feud. You accept the challenge without a moment's hesitation. You are not a man who runs from a fight. You understand the stakes perfectly. This is a battle to the finish. To refuse the duel would be seen as an act of fear. It would undermine everything you have built. Your path is a path of constant forward momentum. To retreat is to abandon the very principles that guide you. You agree to meet Denshichiro and settle the matter. The duel is set to take place at a temple in the city called Sanja Sangando. Once again, a crowd gathers. The tension is even thicker than before. The Yoshioka are desperate. Desperate men are dangerous. You know that Denshichiro will not be as easy to provoke into a mindless rage as his brother was. Or perhaps he will be even easier. You decide to employ the same psychological strategy that worked so well before. You arrive late. When you finally appear, Denshichiro is seething with anger. Your casual disrespect is a fresh wound on top of an old one. He stands ready with his massive staff. He is a tower of muscle and fury. He has waited for this moment. He intends to crush your skull and end your legend. He sees your arrival not as the start of a duel, but as the final moments of your life. He is entirely focused on the kill. The fight begins in an instant. Denshichiro attacks with a powerful overhead swing of his staff. The weapon whistles through the air with enough force to shatter stone. He puts all of his strength into this single blow. He expects you to block or dodge. You do neither. In that split second, you step forward into the attack. You are inside his guard. His long weapon is now useless. Before he can react, you bring your own sword up in a flash of steel. The blow is swift and fatal. You cut him down where he stands. Yoshioka Denshachiro, the second master of the clan, falls dead to the temple floor. The duel is over in a single heartbeat. You did not just defeat him, you executed him with terrifying efficiency. The last hope of the Yoshioka school dies with him. You have now killed one brother and crippled another. The Yoshioka clan is now shattered. With both of its masters defeated, their school is a ghost of its former self. Their students are deserting. Their patrons are withdrawing support. Their name, once the most respected in Kyoto, is now a symbol of humiliation. They have lost to duels. They have lost their honor. They are cornered animals, and cornered animals are the most dangerous. They have one last desperate card to play. They abandon the warrior's code of honor completely. There will be no more fair fights. There will be no more one-on-one duels. Their only goal is your death. The clan gathers its remaining loyal members. They are not just swordsmen now. They are a small army of retainers, archers, and musketeers. They conspire to end you, not in a duel, but in an ambush. Their honor is already lost, so they have nothing left to lose by resorting to treachery. To legitimize their plan, they name a new head of the clan. He is Yoshioka Matsushiro, the young son of the crippled Sayuro. He is merely a boy, not even a teenager yet. He is a puppet. In his name they issue a third and final challenge. They ask you to meet them for a duel at the Ichijoji Temple, just outside the city. The location is near a solitary pine tree. It is a remote place, perfect for a trap. You receive the challenge, and you know immediately that it is a lie. A formal duel with a child is absurd. The Yoshioka are not seeking a contest. They are seeking your blood. Any other warrior might refuse the challenge or report the treachery to the authorities, but you are not any other warrior. You see their trap not as a threat, but as an opportunity. It is a chance to end this conflict once and for all on your own terms. You accept the duel. This time, you change your strategy completely. You have used lateness to your advantage twice. They will be expecting it. They will plan around it. So you do the one thing they will not anticipate. You arrive early. You go to the location of the duel hours before the appointed time under the cover of darkness. You do not announce your presence. You conceal yourself and you wait. You become a hunter, observing your prey. As the sun begins to rise, you watch the Yoshioka forces arrive. It is just as you suspected. Matsushiro, the boy, is there as bait, but with him are dozens of armed men. Swordsmen conceal themselves in the bushes. Archers take positions in the trees. Musketeers hide further back. They are not preparing for a duel. They are preparing for an execution. They have laid an elaborate trap, and they are waiting for you to walk into it. You watch them from your hiding place. You feel no fear. You feel a cold sense of purpose. They have abandoned their honor. They have broken the unwritten rules of the samurai. By doing so, they have freed you from those same rules. This is no longer a duel. This is a battle for survival. And it is a battle you have every intention of winning. Their numbers do not intimidate you. You see only their desperation. The sun climbs higher. The Yoshioka men grow restless, waiting for you to appear. They expect you to walk down the main path late and arrogant as before. They have no idea that you are already there. You are watching them. You are studying their positions. You are planning your attack. The hunter has become the hunted, and you, the true predator, are about to spring your own trap upon them. The sun is fully risen. The Yoshioka men are confident their trap is set. They scan the path, waiting for you. This is the moment you choose. You do not emerge where they expect you. You burst from the side, from the deep shadows of the trees. You let out a powerful battle cry. The sound shatters the morning calm. For a split second, all of them are frozen in shock and confusion. Their plan has just become their nightmare. Your first target is the center of their formation. You charge directly towards Yoshioka Matashishiro, the boy leader. He is the symbol of their cause. By attacking him first, you attack the heart of their morale. His guards are caught completely by surprise. Before they can react, you are upon him. You cut the boy down without hesitation. A clean and fatal strike. Their figurehead is eliminated. The ambush is now just a leaderless mob. Chaos erupts among the Yoshioka forces. Their carefully laid plan is worthless. They were prepared for an execution, not a battle. They scramble to surround you. Swords are drawn. Arrows are knocked, but they are disorganized and panicked. You do not give them time to recover. You are not a static target. You are a whirlwind of motion. You weave through their ranks, a phantom of deadly steel. This is where your unique style of fighting truly shines. Some legends say you fought with two swords for the first time here, a long sword in one hand and a short sword in the other. You become a storm of attacks and parries. No one can predict your movements. While one sword blocks, another one strikes. The Yoshioka swordsmen are trained for single combat. They are utterly unprepared for this cyclone of violence. You do not stand your ground to fight them all. That would be suicide. Your goal is survival and victory, not a glorious last stand. You cut a bloody path through the mob. You move constantly using their numbers against them. They get in each other's way. Their attempts to strike you are clumsy and desperate. You dispatch anyone who stands in your path. You are not just fighting. You are creating an escape route through their bodies. You break through their collapsing formation. You do not stop to look back. You plunge into the dense woods and rice paddies. A few of the bravest or most foolish give chase. You dispatch them one by one in the confusing terrain. You are more at home in the wilderness than they are. Soon the sounds of pursuit fade behind you. You have done the impossible. You have faced an entire school of warriors, and you have won. You escape from Kyoto, leaving behind a legend written in blood. The Yoshioka clan is finished forever. Their masters are dead or disgraced. Their final members are scattered and broken. You single-handedly destroyed the most prestigious sword school in Japan. The name Miyamoto Musashi is no longer just the name of a skilled duelist. It is now the name of a demon, a force of nature that cannot be stopped. Your time in the capital is over. You leave the politics and intrigue behind you. You return to the road, a solitary figure. But you are not the same man who arrived in Kyoto. You have been tested against the best and against the worst. You have faced tradition and you have faced treachery. You have overcome both. The experience has hardened you. It has also made your name immortal in the annals of the samurai. You leave Kyoto behind, but its ghosts follow you. The story of your victory over the Yoshioka travels faster than you do. It is told in castles and tea houses and roadside inns. The tale grows with each retelling. Some say you fought 100 men. Some say you disappeared into a cloud of smoke. The facts are buried under a mountain of legend. Your name is now known throughout the land. You are no longer just a Ronin. You are an epic. This fame becomes your new prison. Before you sought out challenges, now challenges seek you out. Everywhere you go, you are a target. Ambitious young samurai want to make their name by defeating you. They believe your head is a trophy that will bring them instant glory. They hunt you relentlessly. They do not understand the gulf that separates their ambition from your skill. They see the legend, but they do not see the man. Older masters also seek you out. They are the heads of remote dojos, the last practitioners of ancient styles. They hear the stories about your unconventional methods. They want to test their traditional techniques against your raw efficiency. They see you as a threat to their entire way of life. They fight to defend their honor and the purity of their art. They too fall before your blade. The duels become a grim routine. There is no longer joy in these victories. In your youth, each duel was a lesson. It was a chance to learn and grow. Now they are just a nuisance. You learn nothing from defeating arrogant boys or rigid old men. The fights are repetitive and predictable. You see the outcome long before the first move is made. The thrill of the fight has been replaced by a quiet weariness. Victory has become a chore. A typical encounter is brief and without drama. A challenger announces himself on a dusty road. He boasts of his lineage, his school, and his skill. You listen patiently. You do not speak. You simply draw your sword. The fight is over in a few moments. You leave the man defeated in the dust and continue your journey. There is no satisfaction in it. It is like swatting away an annoying fly. To escape this endless cycle, you begin to travel to more remote parts of Japan. You avoid the major cities and the well-traveled highways. You seek out lonely mountain paths and secluded valleys. You desire solitude more than anything else. You need space to think, space to understand the path you are on. The world of men has become too loud, too demanding. You find more wisdom in the silence of the forest. This period marks a profound shift in your journey. The outward search for opponents is coming to an end. You have proven yourself against every style and every school. There are few worthy challengers left. The true challenge now lies within yourself. You begin to think more deeply about the philosophy of the sword. What is the ultimate purpose of mastery? Is it simply to be undefeated, or is there something more? The sword has brought you fame and a fearsome reputation, but it has not brought you peace. You are a victor in countless duels, but you have not yet conquered the restlessness in your own spirit. You are the master of the sword. Now you must become the master of yourself. This new quest will be longer and more difficult than any you have faced before. It will not be fought in dojos or on battlefields. It will be fought in the quiet landscape of your own mind. Your travels take you away from the world of formal dojos. You have proven you can defeat the best swordsman. Now you seek to understand the principles of combat against all forms of weaponry. You become interested in the unconventional, the strange, the weapons used by those outside the samurai class. You want to test your strategy against every possible threat. This search leads you to a new and deadly challenge. You learn of a weapon called the kusarigama. It is a terrifying tool in the hands of a master. It consists of a sharp sickle attached to a long iron chain. At the end of the chain is a heavy weight. A swordsman is at a huge disadvantage against it. The chain can be used to trap a sword from a safe distance. The weighted end can be swung to crush a skull. The sickle is then used to finish the opponent at close range. It is a weapon of entanglement and brutal efficiency. Your search for a master of this weapon leads you to a man named Shishido Bacon. He is not a noble samurai or a respected master. He is an outcast, a bandit, who uses his deadly skill to rob and kill travelers. He lives in the mountains, far from the law. He is a ruthless fighter who relies on the fear his weapon inspires. He is confident that no swordsman can defeat him. His kusarigama has been his key to a life of violent success. You decide to seek him out. This is not a duel for honor or reputation. It is a practical test of your philosophy. You believe that your strategy can overcome any weapon or style. Shishido Bacon and his kusarigama represent a perfect tactical problem to be solved. You travel into his mountain territory alone. You are not hunting a man for justice. You are dissecting a fighting style to find its inherent weakness. You find him in a rugged, hilly landscape. This is not a duel. It is a predator sizing up his next meal. He does not know that you are a far more dangerous predator than he is. Bacon attacks immediately. He swings the long chain in a wide arc. The heavyweight whistles through the air. You cannot get close to him without risking being entangled or struck down. He is trying to keep you at a distance where his weapon is strongest and your sword is useless. He is confident. He has fought many swordsmen before. He believes he knows exactly how this will end. He is wrong. You advance on him. He throws the chain to ensnare your main sword. Instead, you allow the chain to wrap around your shorter sword, your wakizashi. You sacrifice the smaller blade. The instant he commits to the entanglement, you drop it. You close the distance with a burst of speed. Before he can react, you cut him down with your katana. The fight is over. You have solved the tactical problem. You proved that strategy is superior to any single weapon. You showed that by understanding a system, you can find the perfect way to dismantle it. This victory adds another crucial piece to your evolving philosophy of combat. The yari is the primary weapon of the samurai on the battlefield. Its incredible reach gives it a major advantage over a sword. A skilled spearman can keep a swordsman at a distance. He can strike with lethal force long before the swordsman can get close enough to attack. You knew you had to master fighting against it. This is the home of the Shozoin-ryu school of spearmanship. Their style is renowned throughout Japan. The school was founded by a monk named Hozoin-nei. He developed a unique cross-shaped spearhead. This design was perfect for thrusting, trapping, and deflecting an opponent's blade. The Shozoin monks were considered the best spearmen in the land. They saw the spear not just as a weapon to kill. It was a tool for self-perfection. They trained to achieve a state of harmony between their body, mind, and spirit. They were not brawlers or glory seekers. They were true warrior philosophers. This was a challenge that interested you greatly. They know of your deadly history, but they also sense that your purpose here is different. You are not here for blood. You are here for understanding. You request a friendly match to test your skills. This is not a duel to the death. It is a demonstration of skill, a meeting of two different martial arts philosophies. You face the monk in the temple courtyard. He holds his cross-shaped spear with practiced ease. The weapon seems like a natural extension of his body. He is calm, centered, and ready. It can trap your sword and disarm you in an instant. You are forced to be constantly moving. You dodge and weave, trying to find an opening to close the distance. It is a difficult and frustrating problem to solve. You are facing a true master. In that instant, you surge forward. You get inside the spear's effective range. The monk is now at a disadvantage. You press your attack and touch him with your wooden practice sword. You have won the match. The exchange ends with a bow of mutual respect. The monks are impressed by your skill and strategy. You are impressed by their discipline and mastery of the spear. You did not come here to destroy a reputation. You came here to learn. The experience broadens your understanding of martial arts. It teaches you that true mastery is not just about winning. It is about the constant pursuit of knowledge and the respect for other paths. After years of constant travel and countless duels, you enter a period of deep reflection. You have faced every style of fighter. You have defeated every type of weapon. Through this endless process of testing and refinement, you have created something entirely new. Your way of fighting does not belong to any existing school. It is not a branch of your father's art. It is uniquely your own. It is born from brutal experience and cold reality. You realize it is time to give your philosophy a structure. It needs a name. It marks your transition from a wandering duelist to a true master, a founder of a new tradition. You are no longer just a warrior. You are becoming a teacher. You decide to create your own rue, your own school of thought. This will be the vessel for all the knowledge you have gained. You call your school Nighten Ichiru. The name translates to two heavens as one. This name is a reflection of your core philosophy. The two heavens represent the long sword and the short sword. In your school, they are not treated as separate weapons. They are used together in perfect harmony. They are a single fluid entity. The name also has a deeper meaning. It represents the balance of light and dark, of stillness and action, of life and death. The fundamental principle of Nighten Ichiru is not about memorizing complex techniques. Other schools focus on endless practice of rigid forms called kata. You see this as a limitation. Your school is based on strategy. It is about understanding the rhythm and timing of conflict. It teaches a student how to adapt to any situation. It is a way of thinking, not just a way of fighting. The ultimate goal is to make your movements as natural as walking. While the two swords are central to your teaching, the philosophy extends beyond them. You believe that if you understand the principles of your strategy, you can win with any weapon. You can win with a wooden stick, a fan, or even with your bare hands. The true weapon is the mind. A mind that is calm, clear, and strategically sharp can overcome any physical disadvantage. This is the deepest lesson of your school. You begin to attract followers. Men who have heard of your legend come seeking to become your student. You are highly selective. You are not interested in building a large and famous dojo. You are not looking for students who want to learn how to kill. You are looking for a few dedicated individuals who want to understand the way. You teach them in small groups in natural settings like forests and riverbanks. Your teaching style is as unconventional as your fighting style. You do not rely on drills or recitation. You teach through direct experience. You create scenarios that force your students to think for themselves. You want them to understand the spirit of the strategy, not just the physical movements. You are not creating copies of yourself. You are guiding them to find their own path to mastery. This new role as a teacher changes you. It forces you to distill your knowledge into its purest form. To teach something, you must understand it completely. The act of passing on your wisdom clarifies your own mind. Your legend is no longer just about the duels you have won. It is now about the knowledge you are building. You are creating a legacy that will live on long after you are gone. A school of strategy born from a lifetime of conflict. You are now in your late 20s. Your reputation is solidified. You are widely considered to be an unstoppable force, a living legend of the sword. You have defeated dozens of opponents. You have dismantled entire schools. You have created your own unique philosophy of combat. You are undefeated. Yet there is another name that is whispered with the same level of reverence and fear. That name is Sasaki Kojiro. Sasaki Kojiro is your perfect rival. In many ways, he is your complete opposite. While you are a masterless Ronin who lives in the wild, he is a polished samurai. He serves a powerful lord, the daimyo Hosokawa Tadayoki. While you are unkempt and pragmatic, he is elegant and refined. He is celebrated by the warrior elite. He is the establishment's greatest champion. He is everything you are not, but he is also said to be undefeated. Kojiro is famous for his own brilliant sword technique. It is known as the Tsubame Geishi, or the swallowing bird cut. It is a swift and complex motion said to mimic the movement of a swallow's tail in flight. It is incredibly fast and difficult to counter. It has brought him victory in every duel he has ever fought. He is considered a genius of the sword, a prodigy of immense and deadly talent. He is a true sword saint. His chosen weapon is as unique as his technique. He wields an exceptionally long two-handed sword called a nodachi. It is much longer than a standard katana. He calls his personal sword the Manahoshiza, or the drying pole. Its great length gives him a significant reach advantage. In his skilled hands, this massive blade moves with impossible grace and speed. He is a master of a specialized and highly lethal fighting style. A rivalry between you and Kojiro begins to build across the country. It is a natural conflict. You are the wild, untamed force of nature. He is the perfect, refined instrument of the establishment. You both stand at the pinnacle of the warrior world. It is inevitable that you must one day meet. The warriors and nobles of Japan talk of nothing else. Who is truly the greatest swordsman alive? The question can only be answered in a duel. The duel is officially arranged through the Lord Hosokawa. This is not a simple roadside challenge. It is a major event, a matter of public and political significance. The honor of the Hosokawa clan is tied to their champion Kojiro. The outcome of this fight will echo through the halls of power. It is decided that the duel will take place on a remote and neutral location. This will ensure there is no interference. The chosen location is the small island of Funajima in the Kanman Straits. It is a deserted strip of land, perfect for a private and decisive confrontation. The date and time are set. All of Japan waits for the outcome. This is more than a duel between two men. It is a clash of philosophies, a battle between two opposing ideals of what it means to be a warrior. The unstoppable force is about to meet the immovable object. The stage is now set for the single most famous duel in samurai history. Your entire life has been leading to this moment. Every victory, every lesson, every hardship has prepared you for this confrontation. You are calm and focused. You are not fighting for fame or for the approval of lords. You are fighting as you always have. You are fighting to prove the ultimate effectiveness of your way. Your path is about to collide with Sasaki Kajiro's. In the time leading up to the duel, you make no obvious preparations. Sasaki Kajiro likely spends his days in careful meditation. He polishes his famous blade. He mentally rehearses his swallow-cut technique. He is a man of discipline and ceremony. You, on the other hand, appear to do nothing. You eat your meals, you sleep, you carry on as if it were just another ordinary day. This apparent lack of concern is your first strategic move. It unnerves the observers. On the morning of the duel, you are scheduled to be taken to Funajima Island by boat. The agreed time is early in the morning. All the officials and witnesses are in place. Sasaki Kojiro is already on the island waiting for you. He stands on the beach in his finest robes, a perfect image of the warrior elite. He expects you to arrive on time and ready for a formal duel. This is a battle for honor, and he is a man of great honor. You do not arrive on time. You wake up late. Some stories say you overslept. Others say your lateness is a deliberate choice. A local boatman is sent to fetch you. He is frantic with worry. He thinks you are throwing away your life and honor. You show no such concern. You calmly get ready and head to the boat. You are once again using your opponent's expectations against him. You are controlling the rhythm of the engagement before it even starts. You board the small boat to cross the strait. The boatman rows with frantic energy. He urges you to hurry. You remain perfectly serene. The island is visible in the distance. The sea is calm. During this journey, you perform the act that will become central to your legend. You notice the boatman has a spare, or you ask if you may have it. Confused, he agrees. You then take out your short sword. You begin to carve the oar. With methodical and practiced movements, you shape the thick wooden oar. You are not whittling to pass the time. You are crafting a weapon. You fashion a long wooden sword or bakchin. It is rough and unbalanced. It is also deliberately longer than a standard katana. You have designed it for one specific purpose. It is a tool made to defeat Sasaki Kajiro's exceptionally long sword. You have created a specific counter to his greatest advantage. This act is a masterpiece of strategy. Firstly, you have created a weapon with superior reach. Secondly, you are showing the ultimate contempt for your opponent. Kajiro will be fighting with a priceless blade forged by a master smith. You will be fighting with a crude piece of wood carved from a spare, or it is a profound psychological blow. It communicates that you do not even consider his sword worthy of being met by your own steel. As the boat scrapes against the shore of the island, your weapon is complete. It is a heavy, ugly, and brutally effective tool. The boatman stares at you in disbelief. He does not understand what he is witnessing. He does not see an unprepared man. He sees a master of warfare who turns everything around him into a weapon. You have no need for a famous sword. Your mind is your sharpest blade. You prepare to step onto the beach. You are late. You are armed with a weapon made from scrap wood. Your opponent is already angry and impatient. The duel has already begun, and in the silent battle of minds and strategy, you are already winning. The physical confrontation is just the final move in a game you have been controlling from the very start. The legend is about to reach its climax. You step out of the boat onto the sandy shore of Funajima. You hold your rough-hewn oarsword casually at your side. Across the beach, Sasaki Kajiro is waiting. He is a picture of samurai perfection, but his face is contorted with rage. Your lateness and your insulting weapon have completely shattered his composure. The witnesses and officials watch in tense silence. The air is heavy with anticipation and salt spray. Kojiro is unable to contain his fury. He shouts at you, questioning your honor and your courage. He is trying to intimidate you. He does not realize he is only revealing his own loss of control. In a grand gesture of defiance, he draws his magnificent longsword. The blade glints in the morning sun. He then throws his scabbard into the ocean. It is a symbolic act. It means he does not expect to survive, to sheathe his sword again. He is committed to a fight to the death. You watch his theatrical display with a calm and almost pitying expression. You speak to him for the first time. Your voice is quiet, but it cuts through the tension. You tell him that if he has no more use for his scabbard, then he has already lost the duel. The simple logic of this statement is a final blow to his spirit. He has thrown away his vessel for a victory he has not yet earned. He is left with nothing but his own boiling rage. He lets out a roar and charges. He is now fighting on pure emotion, not strategy. He unleashes his famed swallow cut. The long blade slices through the air in a complex and beautiful arc. It is impossibly fast. It is the technique that has made him a legend. It is meant to be an unblockable, killing blow. He aims to cut you down where you stand and end the duel in a single glorious instant. But you have planned for this moment. As you walked onto the beach, you carefully positioned yourself. The rising sun is directly at your back. Kojiro is forced to look into its blinding glare as he attacks. His vision is compromised just for a fraction of a second. That fraction of a second is all you need. You have orchestrated every element of this confrontation. The timing, the weapon, the positioning. All of it is your design. As his blade descends towards you, your own weapon moves. You do not try to block his legendary technique. You strike at the same time. Your long, heavy oar sword whistles through the air. You aim directly for his head. His blade is a flash of light. It slices through the cloth of your headband. Your wooden sword is a blur of crude force. It connects with his skull with a sickening crack. The fight is decided in that single exchange. Sasaki Kojiro stumbles forward a few steps. The momentum of his final attack carries him. Then he collapses face down into the sand. The greatest swordsman of the establishment lies motionless. He was defeated not just by a blow, but by a perfectly executed strategy. The duel that all of Japan had waited for was over in a matter of seconds. Silence descends upon the island. Even the waves seem to hold their breath. You stand over your fallen rival for a moment. You look at the result of your work. Then you give a short bow to the stunned officials. You turn your back on the body of Sasaki Kojiro. You walk back to the boat without a word. Your victory is absolute. You have proven that a mind sharpened by strategy is the most effective weapon of all. You leave the island as the undisputed greatest swordsman in Japan. The boat pulls away from the shore. The island where you defeated Sasaki Kojiro shrinks in the distance. It will forever be known by his fighting name, Ganryujima. It is now a monument to your victory. The news spreads across Japan with the speed of a tidal wave. Miyamoto Musashi is the greatest swordsman under heaven. The debate is over. Your name is now immortal. You have achieved the pinnacle of the warrior's world. After the duel, a strange quiet descends upon your life. The endless stream of challengers dries up. No one is foolish enough to challenge you now. To face you in a duel is no longer a matter of honor. it is a form of suicide. The ambitious youths and proud masters who once hunted you now avoid you. Your reputation has become an impenetrable shield. You are finally left alone. But this peace is not what you expected. You find yourself in a place beyond rivalry. You have climbed the highest mountain. Now you stand at its peak, completely alone. The driving force of your life was the constant search for a worthy opponent. It was the desire to test your skills and prove your philosophy. Now there is no one left to fight. A profound sense of emptiness begins to settle in. The thrill of the fight is gone. The great purpose that fueled you for years has been fulfilled. The victory over Kojiro feels different. It does not feel like the triumph over the Yoshioka. That was a victory of survival and strategy. This feels like an ending. You did not just defeat a man, you defeated the very idea of a rival. The duel was the final chapter in the story of Musashi, the duelist. You look at your swords, they feel heavier now. They are tools that have completed their ultimate task. What is their purpose now? This victory forces you to turn your journey inward. The external world no longer holds any worthy challenges for you. The only realm left to conquer is the landscape of your own mind and spirit. You consciously begin to step away from the life of a duelist. You have nothing more to prove with your blade. The path of killing is a dead end. You now seek the path of creation and understanding. You dedicate more of your time to the practice of other arts. You immerse yourself in Zen Buddhism. You practice calligraphy with the same intensity you once reserved for swordsmanship. You paint in monochrome ink. You capture the essence of a bird or a bamboo stalk with a few perfect brushstrokes. You find that the discipline is the same. The focus required to draw a perfect line is the same focus required to make a perfect cut. You discover that the principles of your strategy, Niiten Ichiru, apply to everything. The way of the sword is not just about fighting. It is about balance. It is about timing. It is about seeing the world clearly and acting with decisiveness. Whether you hold a sword or a paintbrush, the underlying truth is the same. This realization is a profound breakthrough. It opens up a new and much wider path for you to walk. You are no longer just Musashi, the swordsman. You are becoming Musashi, the artist and philosopher. The man who was once a storm of violence is now seeking a deep and powerful stillness. The death of Sasaki Kojiro was also a kind of death for you. It was the death of your old self. From the ashes of that final duel, a new man is beginning to emerge. A man who is interested not just in winning, but in understanding life itself. Years pass in relative quiet. You focus on your art and your teaching, but the age of war in Japan is not quite over. In the year 1614, the embers of the old conflict flare up one last time. The remnants of the Toyotomi clan gather their loyal retainers. They make their final stand against the Tokugawa shogunate at the mighty Osaka Castle. It is a massive rebellion that threatens to plunge the nation back into civil war. This time, when war calls, you answer on the winning side. You join the armies of the Tokugawa shogun. Your exact role is not that of a common soldier. You are now a legendary figure. It is said you served with the Mizuno clan under the direct command of the shogun. You are no longer a nameless boy fighting for survival in the mud. You are a respected master, a strategist whose insights are valued. You return to the battlefield with a completely different perspective. At the Battle of Sekigahara, you were a teenager. You were lost in the chaos and confusion of the front lines. Now you are a man in your early 30s. You see the battle not as a swirl of violence, but as a grand chess match. You observe troop movements. You analyze tactical decisions. You understand the flow of the battle on a strategic level. The siege of Osaka is a brutal and grinding affair. Osaka Castle is the most formidable fortress in Japan. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers are gathered on both sides. The conflict is divided into two campaigns. The winter campaign is a long stalemate. The Tokugawa cannons cannot breach the castle's massive walls. The defenders hold their ground with fierce determination. It is a war of attrition. You watch the siege unfold. You see your own principles of combat playing out on a massive scale. You see the importance of psychological warfare. You see the use of deception and timing. You see how a single tactical mistake can lead to the loss of thousands of lives. It is a harsh and bloody classroom, but it confirms the universal truth of your philosophy. The way of strategy is the same for a single duel or a massive war. The conflict culminates in the summer campaign of 1615. The Tokugawa forces launch a final, all-out assault. The fighting is desperate and bloody. The castle is eventually breached and set on fire. The Toyotomi clan is completely annihilated. Their leaders are killed. Their army is destroyed. This is the final battle of the Sengoku period. The long century of civil war is finally over. A new era of peace is born from the ashes of Osaka Castle. Your participation in the siege solidifies your place in this new world. You have proven your loyalty to the victorious Tokugawa shogunate. You are no longer seen as just a wild and unpredictable Ronin. You are a veteran of the final Great War. You have earned a measure of respectability within the establishment. This allows you to move through the world with a newfound freedom. You have now seen war from both the bottom and the top. You have been a survivor on the losing side and a contributor on the winning side. You have experienced single combat and massive sieges. Your understanding of conflict is now complete. With the end of the wars, you can fully dedicate yourself to the next phase of your life, the phase of refining your philosophy and passing on your knowledge in an age of peace. The fall of Osaka Castle brings a lasting peace to Japan. The Tokugawa shogunate establishes a firm rule that will last for over 2 centuries. The age of constant warfare is over. The role of the samurai begins to change dramatically. They are no longer needed primarily as warriors. They are slowly transformed into administrators, scholars, and courtiers. The sword is becoming more of a symbol than a tool for daily use. You must adapt to this new reality. The path of the Musha Shujyo, the warrior's pilgrimage, has come to its natural end. There are no more great battles to fight. There are no more schools to challenge. To continue as a wandering duelist in an age of peace would be meaningless. You must find a new purpose for your life, a new way to apply the principles you have spent a lifetime learning. You must find your place in this new world. You begin to accept patronage from powerful lords. You are not a simple retainer who performs guard duty. You are a guest of honor, a master in residence. Your reputation is so great that powerful daimyos seek your counsel. They want to learn your strategy. They want the prestige of having the great Miyamoto Musashi in their service. This gives you a stability you have never known before in your adult life. You spend a significant period of time under the patronage of the Ogasawara clan. You serve them in their domains in Akashi and later in Kakura. This is a time of great productivity for you. You are no longer concerned with daily survival. You have a home. You have the respect of a powerful lord. This security gives you the freedom to focus entirely on refining your teachings and pursuing your other interests. You dedicate yourself to the arts with renewed vigor. Your skill as an ink painter flourishes. Your works are famous for their stark simplicity and powerful energy. You paint birds, geese, and figures with a few swift and decisive brushstrokes. Your style is direct and without ornamentation. It is the visual equivalent of your swordsmanship. Each painting is a reflection of your philosophy of cutting to the absolute essence of a subject. You also practice calligraphy, sculpture, and even metalworking. It is said you crafted your own sword guards or tsuba. These were praised for their simple and practical designs. You reportedly also took an interest in civil architecture and garden designs. You applied your strategic mind to the problem of creating harmonious and functional spaces. You proved that the principles of mastery are truly universal. This is a long period of quiet and profound maturation. You have successfully made the difficult transition from warrior to artist. You are no longer the restless storm that swept across Japan. You have become a deep and tranquil lake. Your energy is no longer directed outward in conflict. It is channeled inward into creation and teaching. You are a living example of how a warrior can find meaning in a world without war. You spend these years consolidating your life's work. You teach your Niton Ichiru to a small number of chosen successors. You want to ensure that your school and its philosophy will not die with you. You are no longer just a legend of battle. You are becoming a source of timeless wisdom. You are preparing to create your final and most enduring legacy. A legacy that will be written not with a sword, but with a brush. You are now an old man. You have lived through the end of one age and the beginning of another. Your body carries the scars of 100 battles. The relentless pace of your youth has slowed to a deliberate walk. Your hair is gray. Your hands may tremble slightly, but your mind is a polished mirror. It is clearer and sharper than it has ever been. You have reached the final stage of your long journey. You feel a sense of your own mortality. You know that you do not have many years left. You have passed on your sword techniques to your students. Your school Niton Ichiru will survive you, but you feel that your deepest understanding has not yet been shared. The core of your philosophy, the spirit of your way, exists only in your mind. If you die, it will be lost to the world forever. You decide you must write it all down. To accomplish this final task, you need complete solitude. You need to be free from all worldly distractions. In the year 1643, you leave the service of your lord. You say goodbye to your students and your few companions. You give away most of your possessions. You take only what is essential: your swords, a writing brush, some ink and paper. You then retreat deep into the mountains of Higo province. You seek a place of perfect quiet. You find your final home in a cave called Rigondo. The name means Spirit Rock Cave. It is a simple hollow in the side of a mountain overlooking a valley. This becomes your study, your bedroom, and your tomb. You live a life of extreme simplicity. You meditate. You watch the changing of the seasons. You reflect on the entirety of your long and eventful life. You are no longer a part of the world. You are an observer of it. In the cold silence of the cave, you begin your final work. You take up your brush. You are not writing a simple autobiography. You are not listing your many victories to boast of your fame. You are creating a manual, a textbook on the art of strategy. It is a guide for any person who wants to learn how to win, not just in combat, but in any field of human endeavor. This will be your ultimate legacy. You decide to structure the book into 5 parts. Each part will correspond to one of the 5 elements of Eastern philosophy. This framework will allow you to explore your strategy from every angle, from the most basic foundations to the most profound spiritual insights. The book will be a complete map of your way, a guide that will allow future generations to walk the same path you have walked. The first scroll you plan is the Book of Earth. It will lay out the basic principles of your school. It is the solid ground upon which all other knowledge must be built. The second is the Book of Water. It will describe the need for flexibility and adaptability. The third is the Book of Fire. It will detail the techniques of attack and the heat of battle. The fourth is the Book of Wind. It will analyze the weaknesses of other schools. The final and most important part will be the Book of the Void. This will be the most difficult to write. It will describe the state of mind where strategy transcends thought. It is the ultimate goal of your way, a state of pure and spontaneous action. As you sit in the silence of your cave, you gather your thoughts. You prepare to pour the wisdom of a lifetime onto the empty page. You are about to write Go-Rin no Sho, the Book of 5 Rings. In the quiet of your cave, you begin to write the first scroll. You call it the Book of Earth. The earth is the foundation for everything. It is solid, it is stable, it is the ground upon which we walk. This first book is the foundation of your entire strategy. It outlines the straight and direct path that a warrior must follow. Without understanding these basic principles, nothing else is possible. You begin with a simple comparison. You say that the way of the warrior is like the way of the master carpenter. A carpenter must know his tools completely. He must sharpen his blades. He must have a clear plan before he begins to build. He must execute his work with precision and skill. The warrior must do the same. His swords are his tools. His strategy is his plan. His life is the structure he builds. You stress that your way is about more than just fencing. It is a philosophy for victory in any situation. A general leading an army and a single warrior facing an opponent both use the same principles. The scale is different, but the underlying truth is the same. To master your school of thought is to understand the rhythm of conflict itself. This understanding can be applied to anything. You outline the core of your Naiten Ichiru. You explain the advantage of fighting with 2 swords. It gives you more options. It allows you to control the space around you. But you make it clear that the second sword is not a crutch. The goal is to be able to win with 1 sword or with 2. The spirit is more important than the number of blades. A warrior should be comfortable and skilled with all his tools. You write about the importance of timing. This is a crucial concept in your philosophy. You state that timing is something that must be learned through intense practice. It cannot be understood just by reading words. You must develop an intuitive sense of the right moment to act, the right moment to be still. All victory and defeat hang upon this single point of timing. It is the invisible heart of every engagement. You describe the proper physical posture. Your stance should not be rigid or artificial. It should be natural, like your everyday posture. Your feet should be planted firmly. Your head should be upright. Your gaze should be broad and encompassing. You must not focus only on your opponent's sword. You must see his whole body, his intentions, his spirit. You must see everything around you. You emphasize that everything in the Earth Scroll is practical. It is about what truly works in a life or death struggle. There are no secret techniques. There are no magical charms. There is only the direct and honest application of correct principles. You must forge your spirit. You must sharpen your mind. You must practice relentlessly until the way becomes a part of you. The Earth Scroll is your introduction to the path. It is the map you draw for your students. It tells them where to place their feet. It tells them how to hold their tools. It clears away the confusing and useless traditions of other schools. It presents a simple and direct road. It is the solid ground upon which a true master must learn to stand before he can ever hope to reach the sky. After setting the foundation with the Earth Scroll, you move to the next element. You title your second manuscript the Book of Water. Water is the model for your strategy. It has no fixed shape of its own. It takes the shape of whatever vessel contains it. It can be a gentle mist or a powerful waterfall. Its nature is to be adaptable and to always seek the path of least resistance. The spirit of a warrior must be like water. This scroll focuses on the practical techniques of your school. The Earth Scroll was about principles. The Water Scroll is about application. It is where you explain how to hold the sword, how to move your body, and how to strike your opponent. But even here you stress that technique is secondary to spirit. A warrior with a fluid mind can make any technique effective. A warrior with a rigid mind will fail even with the best training. You teach that the mind must be calm and broad. It should not become fixed on any one thing. If you focus only on your opponent's sword, you will be killed by a strike from his body. If you focus only on his body, you will not see his change in footing. Your mind must be like the surface of a still lake. It should reflect everything that happens without being disturbed by it. This is the essence of a winning state of mind. You describe the basic stances or attitudes of swordsmanship. You explain that these are not rigid poses to be held. They are momentary states of readiness. They are starting points from which to launch a fluid attack or defense. Many schools teach dozens of complicated stances. You say there are only 5 fundamental ones. Mastery is not about knowing many stances. It is about being able to flow between them without thinking. You detail the methods of cutting an opponent. You write about the speed of your stroke and the angle of your blade. But you emphasize one crucial point above all else. Every single practice cut must be made with the spirit of cutting down a real man. There is no difference between practice and combat. To practice without intent is to learn nothing. The spirit of the warrior must be present in every single movement. You also discuss various combat situations. You explain how to fight in confined spaces, like inside a house. You explain how to deal with the chaos of fighting multiple opponents. In every scenario, the principle is the same. Be like water. Do not clash with an obstacle head-on. Flow around it. Use the opponent's energy against him. Find the empty space where you can move and strike. Do not let your mind become trapped. The ultimate goal of the Water Scroll is to make technique disappear. You must practice the movements so relentlessly that you no longer have to think about them. Your body must know what to do on its own. The sword should feel like a part of your arm. Your movements should become as natural and spontaneous as breathing. This is true mastery. It is the state where the warrior and his sword move as one fluid entity. The Book of Water is your guide to achieving this state of effortless action. It teaches the student to abandon stiffness in body and mind. It shows him how to become adaptable, powerful, and impossible to predict. It is the path to transforming the solid principles of the Earth Scroll into a living, dynamic force. It is how you learn to flow like a river and crash like a tidal wave. With the foundations of earth and the techniques of water established, you turn to your third scroll. You name this the Book of Fire. Fire represents the heat and intensity of battle. A fire can be small and controlled, or it can be a raging inferno that consumes everything. A warrior must understand the nature of this fire. He must know how to use it against his enemies, and he must know how to keep its flames from consuming himself. This scroll is not about individual techniques. It is about the wider strategy of the fight itself. It deals with timing, advantage, and controlling the spirit of the battlefield. The principles in the Fire Scroll apply equally to a duel between two men or a war between two armies. The spirit of combat is universal. You draw heavily on your experiences at Sekigahara and Osaka Castle. You write about what it takes to win when the stakes are highest. You stress the absolute importance of taking the initiative. You must never be reactive in a fight. You must not wait for the enemy to act and then respond. You must seize control of the situation from the very beginning. You must dictate the pace and rhythm of the engagement. Force the opponent to react to your moves. By doing so, you disrupt his strategy and shatter his composure. The one who controls the fight is the one who will win it. You describe several key tactical concepts. One is treading on the sword. This means not just blocking an opponent's attack. It means suppressing it before it even begins. You must press your opponent relentlessly. Give him no space to think. Give him no time to set up his own techniques. Another concept is to become the enemy. You must learn to see the battle from your opponent's perspective. You write about recognizing the moment of collapse in an enemy. In every fight, there is a point where your opponent's spirit begins to falter. It might be a flicker of doubt in his eyes. It might be a moment of hesitation in his movement. You must train your perception to see this moment. When you see it, you must attack with all your strength. You also warn against reckless aggression. Your spirit should burn like a steady flame, not a wild blaze. Rage is a weakness. It makes you predictable and clouds your judgment. The intensity you bring to a fight must be controlled and focused. It is a tool to be used with precision. You must be the master of your own intensity. The Fire Scroll teaches how to see the unseen currents of a battle. It is about more than just physical movements. It is about the shifting tides of morale, spirit, and intention. A master of your way can feel these shifts. He can exploit a moment of weakness. He can create an advantage out of nothing. He becomes the fire that purifies the battlefield. This book is your guide to the psychology of combat. It moves beyond the simple mechanics of fighting. It enters the realm of pure strategy. It teaches the warrior how to think in the midst of chaos. It shows him how to dominate his opponent's will long before his sword ever strikes. After describing the foundations, the techniques, and the heat of battle, you move to the fourth scroll. You call this the Book of Wind. The wind represents the different traditions and styles that exist in the world. It is the breath of other schools, their doctrines, and their habits. To truly master your own way, you must first have a deep understanding of the ways of others. This scroll is your critical analysis of all the other sword schools in Japan. You begin by stating that it is difficult to see your own path clearly if you do not see the paths that others walk. Many warriors become trapped within the narrow traditions of their own dojo. They believe their way is the only way. This is a great weakness. To be a true master, you must look at all other schools with a clear and objective eye. You must understand their strengths. You must see their fatal flaws. You systematically critique the common failings of the martial arts of your time. You criticize schools that are obsessed with appearance. They focus on beautiful stances and elegant movements. Their students look impressive in practice, but in a real battle, their techniques are shallow and ineffective. They are learning a dance, not a way to survive. You saw this weakness in the Yoshioka school, and you exploited it. You write about schools that are devoted to a specific type of weapon. You mention those who favor an overly long sword. You explain that while this provides a reach advantage, it also creates slowness. It is clumsy in confined spaces. A warrior who relies on only one trick is easily defeated once that trick is understood. This was the fatal flaw of Sasaki Kajiro. He was a master of one thing, and it was not enough. You also critique schools that emphasize speed above all else. They teach their students to perform a flurry of rapid cuts. You see this as a sign of superficial understanding. It is better to deliver one single cut with perfect timing and power. A flurry of weak attacks only reveals a lack of confidence. It is a desperate attempt to overwhelm an opponent rather than a calm strategy to defeat them. You analyze schools that teach an excessive number of rigid stances. They believe that for every situation there is a specific and correct posture. You see this as a trap. It robs a warrior of his ability to adapt. It makes his movements predictable. A true warrior does not rely on a fixed stance. His readiness is internal. He can fight from any position because his mind is always fluid like water. Finally, you criticize the secrecy of many schools. Their masters often hide their true techniques behind mysterious language. They create a cult of personality around themselves. You believe the way of strategy should be direct and clear. Truth does not need to be hidden. It should be presented in plain language, so that any sincere student can understand it. Your book is a testament to this belief. The Book of Wind is your guide to strategic thinking. It teaches the warrior to be a critical observer. Do not blindly follow tradition. Do not be impressed by reputation. Analyze everything. Find the underlying principles. See what is truly effective and what is merely for show. By understanding the winds of the world, you can avoid being blown off course. You can hold to your own straight path with unshakable confidence. You have come to the end of your written teachings. You have laid out the foundation on earth. You have described the techniques in water. You have explained the strategy of battle in fire. You have analyzed the ways of others in wind. Now you must write the final scroll. You called this the Book of the Void. This is the most important and the most difficult scroll to understand. It is the summit of your entire philosophy. You explain what you mean by the void. It is not a place of emptiness or nothingness. It is the state that exists beyond human knowledge and perception. It is the world as it truly is, without our confusion and our judgments. Things that we see as good or bad, right or wrong, do not exist in the void. There is only what is to understand. The void is to understand the true nature of existence. It is the ultimate goal of a warrior's spirit. In the context of your strategy, the void is a state of mind. It is the place you reach when you have mastered all the lessons of the other four scrolls. It is a state of no mind. The warrior does not think about his next move. He does not plan his attack. He does not worry about the outcome. His mind is empty of all such thoughts. He is completely present in the moment. He is a part of the world, not separate from it. When you achieve this state, your actions become perfect. They are spontaneous. They are natural. They are always correct for the situation. Your body moves without any conscious command. Your sword strikes the precise spot it needs to. This happens because your actions are no longer filtered through a slow and clumsy mind. They emerge directly from the void, from a place of pure knowing. This is the highest level of mastery. The previous 4 books are the path to this destination. You must build your foundation on earth. You must master the fluid techniques of water. You must understand the intense strategy of fire. You must see clearly the other paths of the wind. You must do all these things. But then you must forget them all. You must let go of all the knowledge you have gained. Only then can you enter the void. You write that the true way of the warrior is not found in books. It is not found in the teachings of other men. It cannot be learned from the outside. The true way exists within the spirit of the warrior himself. The void is this inner truth. The purpose of all your training is to clear away the confusion of the mind, so that this natural and perfect wisdom can shine through. When you fight from the state of the void, you are unbeatable. Your spirit is in harmony with the rhythm of the universe. You can see your opponent's intentions before he even forms them. You are always one step ahead. You are not fighting him. You are simply allowing events to unfold in their natural way, and their natural way will always lead to your victory. It is the victory of clarity over confusion. To let go of everything you have learned, to empty your mind, and to find the perfect freedom and power that lies waiting in the stillness of the void. It is direct, practical, and profound. It is the final and most perfect sword you have ever forged. Your legacy is now secure. It does not live in the memory of battle. It lives in these timeless words. You greet the prospect of your own death with the same calm and strategic mind that you brought to every duel. It is not a thing to be feared. It is simply the final event in a long life. It too must be met with mastery. You summon your most dedicated students. You formally present the completed manuscript of Gorin no Sho to one of them. His name is Taro Magonoyo. You entrust him with your life's work. You instruct him to preserve it and to share its wisdom. This is the final act of a teacher. You are passing the torch to the next generation. Your physical presence is no longer needed. The way itself will be their master. Now, you spend your final days in quiet meditation. You are not filled with regret. You are not clinging to life. You have lived completely and on your own terms. You have experienced everything a warrior could experience. You have known the heat of battle and the stillness of art. You have walked your own path from beginning to end. There is nothing left unfinished. You are ready for the journey into the void. You do not write a long or elaborate poem. Your final words are as direct as your sword strokes. You write a short piece called Dakoto, the path of walking alone. It is a list of 21 principles for a life of discipline and self-reliance. It is your final lesson, a guide to living without fear, without attachment, and without regret. You are dressed in clean robes. You have your swords placed before you. One hand rests on your katana. You will meet your end not as a frail old man, but as a warrior. You sit upright, facing the west, your posture is perfect. Your spirit is calm, you are in complete control of your final moments. A solitary man who has mastered the art of living and the art of dying. The year is 1645, you are 61 years old. The life of the man Miyamoto Musashi is over. The life of the legend, the teacher and the philosopher has just begun. You did not let death take you by surprise. You met it on your own terms. You faced it with the same clear-eyed. And even in your final breath, you did not stray from it for a single instant. Your death is not an end, it is a transformation. Your physical body is laid to rest according to your wishes. But your spirit lives on in the ink of your book and the hearts of your students. They faithfully preserve your teachings. The school of Niton Ichiru continues. The manuscript of the Book of Five Rings is carefully guarded and passed down through generations. Your way does not die in the Spirit Rock Cave. It is just beginning its journey. For many years, your influence remains within the world of the warrior. Your book is a secret text for swordsmen seeking the deepest level of mastery. Your life story is told and retold as a model for martial virtue. You are the ultimate example of the warrior who achieved perfection through a lifetime of dedication. Your name becomes a benchmark against which all other swordsmen are measured. As time passes, your story escapes the confines of the dojo. It seeps into the wider culture of Japan. Your life becomes the subject of epic novels and dramatic kabuki plays. Woodblock artists create images of your famous duels. In these stories, you are transformed from a man into a folk hero. You are a symbol of Japan's martial spirit. The historical facts of your life begin to blend with the vibrant colors of legend. The details of your journey are magnified. The duel with Sasaki Kojiro becomes a clash of titans. The battle against the Yoshioka school becomes a single-handed war against 100 men. You are depicted as a force of nature, a perfect, invincible hero who always fought for justice. This is the myth of Musashi, and it grows more powerful with each passing century. It captures the imagination of a nation. But your true legacy was never just about the sword. It was about the mind that wielded it. And that part of your legacy was about to have a global rebirth. In the 20th century, your Book of Five Rings is discovered by the outside world. It is translated into English and then into dozens of other languages. It finds a completely new audience. People who have never held a sword in their lives read your words. They are not looking for a way to win a duel. They are looking for a way to win in life. Business executives in glass towers read your book. They apply your strategies to corporate competition. Military generals in modern armies study your tactics. They see the timeless truth in your understanding of conflict. Athletes read your words to find a mental edge. Artists study your philosophy to understand the spirit of creation. Your way has transcended its origins. It has become a universal guide to mastery. Your legacy is therefore twofold. There is the legendary swordsman, the unkempt demon of the duel, the hero of 100 battles who was never defeated. And there is the calm philosopher of the cave, the master who left behind a guide to strategy that is as relevant today as it was 400 years ago. The man is gone, the myth is powerful, but the teaching, the way itself, is eternal. So what is the final lesson of your extraordinary life? If we strip away the myths, the legends, and the bloody duels, what timeless truth remains? The answer is simple. The way of Miyamoto Musashi was never truly about the sword. The sword was just the tool you used to carve your understanding into the world. Your real legacy is a way of living, a way of seeing, a way of being. It is a philosophy built on a few powerful and unshakable pillars. The first pillar is absolute self-reliance. You walked your path alone. You had no master to guide you. You had no lord to protect you. You forged your own style, your own philosophy, and your own destiny. Your life teaches that true strength is not found in allegiance to others. It is found in the unwavering discipline of the self. You must be your own teacher, your own critic, and your own source of power. The second pillar is relentless adaptability. You lived in a time of constant change, and you thrived in it. You faced every kind of weapon and every style of fighter. You never clung to a single rigid technique. You were like water. You flowed around obstacles. You changed your shape to fit the situation. Your life is a testament to the fact that those who are too rigid will eventually be broken. Those who are fluid will endure. The third pillar is ruthless practicality. You had no patience for things that were merely for show. You valued what was effective over what was beautiful. You valued truth over tradition. You chose a wooden or over a masterwork blade because it was the right tool for the job. Your way is to strip away everything that is unnecessary. You must see the world as it is. You must act based on reality, not on comforting illusions. The fourth pillar is the clarity of perception. You taught that a warrior's gaze must be wide and calm. You must see the whole forest, not just a single tree. This is true in combat and in life to make correct decisions. You must see the entire situation clearly. You must be free from the distortions of fear, anger, and ego. A calm mind and a broad vision are the sharpest weapons you can possess. The fifth and final pillar is the pursuit of mastery itself. You showed that there are no shortcuts on the path. True skill is not a gift. It is the result of thousands of hours of dedicated and intelligent practice. It is a lifetime of devotion. This is true for swordsmanship, for art, for business, or for any craft. To become a master is to dedicate your entire being to the perfection of your way. These are the lessons that echo from your life. Walk your own path. Be like water. See the truth. Perceive the world clearly. Dedicate your life to mastery. These principles are more enduring than a sword blade. They are more powerful than any legend. They are the true Book of 5 Rings, written not in ink, but in the example of a life lived without compromise. Your journey was a search for the perfect cut, but in the end you showed the world something more profound. You showed them a way to live a perfect life, a life of freedom, strength, and unshakable purpose. That is the final victory of Miyamoto Musashi, a victory not over any opponent, but over the chaos and confusion of life itself. A victory that still offers a guiding light to anyone who dares to walk the path alone. And so your story ends. It is the story of a boy born in a time of war. He was forged in hardship. He walked a path of blood and steel. He became the most famous swordsman in the history of a nation of swordsmen. But it is also the story of an artist, a teacher, and a philosopher. A man who found the deepest truths of existence, not in victory, but in the quiet solitude of a mountain cave. You are not just a man, you are a lesson. You are a symbol of a life lived by a code of utter self-mastery. Your journey through feudal Japan is now complete. The clash of swords has faded into silence. The long roads have reached their destination. We leave your spirit now resting in the stillness of history, a quiet monument to a life of incredible purpose. Your path was a lonely one. but it created a legacy that has touched millions. A legacy of strength, discipline, and profound wisdom. Thank you for joining us on this long journey with medieval nocturnes. We hope this story has provided a calm and interesting path into your own quiet rest. The world is very different now from the one you knew. Yet the challenges of life remain the same. The need for strategy, for clarity, and for a calm spirit is as timeless as the stars. If you have enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support allows us to continue exploring these lives from the distant past. We hope you have found this tale to be a peaceful companion for your night. Until our next story, we wish you a deep and restorative sleep. Rest well.